I'm Sam. Imagine sitting in a public library, opening your laptop, and quietly running a billion-dollar global criminal empire. In 2013, federal investigators swarmed that exact library, capturing a young tech genius. But how did he get there?
To understand the fall, we have to go back to the beginning. As your guide, I'll show you the birth of the dark web.
It started with a student who had a radical dream. A completely free digital market, existing entirely outside the system. But a truly free market requires absolute anonymity. Normally, if you buy something online, you leave a permanent digital footprint. The solution was a military-grade encryption network. A browser that bounces your signal across the globe, hiding who you are. But hiding your location is only half the puzzle. How do you exchange value in secret when standard systems permanently track exactly who you are? Enter a brand new, obscure digital currency called Bitcoin. It was decentralized, unregulated, and seemingly untraceable. Combining Tor for hidden locations and Bitcoin for hidden money, Ross created a masterpiece of digital evasion. He called it the Silk Road, an Amazon-style marketplace for the dark web. In 2011, the first listing went live. The very first item sold was a handful of magic mushrooms, grown by Ross himself. A quiet start to a deafening revolution. Sam notes that the site was a ghost. You couldn't find it on Google. You had to know the exact encrypted address to enter. But in June 2011, a massive tech blog published an article about the underground drug site. Suddenly, the secret was out. Within hours, user registrations exploded. Hundreds, then thousands of people poured into the Silk Road. The servers nearly crashed. Ross had created the ultimate free market. But as Sam warns, when you remove all rules, human nature reveals its darkest side. It was no longer just mushrooms. The site was flooded with heroin, cocaine, hacking tools, and stolen identities. It was shockingly easy. Buyers left reviews, sellers had ratings, and customer service resolved disputes. It was Amazon, but illegal. Soon, global cartels realized the potential. Millions of dollars were moving through the mail system invisibly every single day. Managing this empire was impossible for a regular student. Ross needed a persona to rule the underworld. He named himself the Dread Pirate Roberts, a ruthless leader who answered to no one and commanded fierce loyalty. What started as a libertarian utopia was now a dark web monopoly. Roberts was earning millions in commission fees alone. But as the empire grew, so did the target on its back. The FBI, DEA, and IRS formed a massive joint task force. The Tor network worked perfectly. The servers were hidden. The money was untraceable. They were chasing ghosts. Desperate, federal agents went undercover on the site, posing as major drug traffickers to get close to Roberts. The pressure mounted. When blackmailers threatened to expose user identities, Roberts allegedly crossed the darkest line imaginable, paying to permanently silence the threats. Though no bodies were ever found, the intent was clear. The peaceful libertarian had become a digital mob boss. But every empire has a crack. In 2013, a tiny misconfiguration in the site's code accidentally leaked the server's real IP address. The IP address led investigators to a physical server rack located in a massive data center in Iceland. They had the site. Sam knows they had the server, but they didn't have the man. Who was the Dread Pirate Roberts in the real world? Agents secretly cloned the entire Silk Road database without alerting Roberts. Now, they could see every message and every transaction. An IRS agent named Gary Alford was searching old internet forums. He found a post from 2011 promoting the Silk Road. While asking coding questions on a public forum, the creator left behind a single, tiny digital crumb. It was the only mistake he ever made. Agents pulled his records. Ross was living in San Francisco, down the street from an internet cafe used to log into the servers. But the real nail in the coffin? Bitcoin. Sam explains the ultimate misconception. Bitcoin is not anonymous. Every Bitcoin transaction in history is permanently recorded on a public blockchain. It's an investigator's dream. The FBI knew Ross was the Dread Pirate Roberts, but arresting him wasn't enough. They needed the laptop, unencrypted and open. If Ross closed his laptop, military-grade encryption would lock the hard drive forever. They needed to catch him mid-keystroke. October 1, 2013. The Glen Park Library. Undercover FBI agents positioned themselves. Ross was logged into the Silk Road Master Admin panel, one keystroke away from deleting the empire. The tension was unbearable. The agents executed a flawless distraction. A fake lover's quarrel broke out behind Ross, causing him to turn his head. In that split second, an agent swooped in, grabbed the open laptop, and handed it off to a computer forensics expert. Checkmate. The laptop was secured. Fully decrypted, logged in as the Dread Pirate Roberts. The empire had fallen. The FBI seized the servers, shutting down the Silk Road, and confiscating over 144,000 Bitcoin. The irony is staggering. At the time of the seizure, those digital assets were worth millions. Today, that exact same amount is worth billions. Ross faced trial in 2015. The defense argued he created the site but handed it off. The jury didn't buy it. The final ruling was meant to send a permanent message to the digital world. The founder was handed a penalty so absolute, it was designed to last a lifetime. No possibility of parole. A first-time, non-violent offender given a harsher sentence than many cartel leaders. The internet was stunned. For over a decade, a massive global movement argued that the sentence was a miscarriage of justice. Was Ross a kingpin or a pioneer? Sam reminds us that while Ross sat in a cell, the world changed. Bitcoin wasn't just for criminals anymore. Wall Street embraced it. And then came January 2025. After 11 grueling years in federal prison, the impossible happened. In a stunning twist, the highest level of government intervened. After more than a decade, the founder was granted full and unconditional freedom. The double life sentence was erased. The man who birthed the dark web walked out of the prison gates and into the sun. Sam reflects on the irony. Ross walked into a world entirely reshaped by the very cryptocurrency he helped popularize. In May 2025, Ross made his first public appearance as a free man at a massive Bitcoin conference in Las Vegas. He was greeted as a hero by the crypto community. But the shadow of the Silk Road will always follow him. The Silk Road is long gone. But as Sam tells us, the Pandora's box of decentralized anonymity is permanently open. Today's dark web makes the Silk Road look like a child's toy. The technology is faster, darker, and nearly impossible to trace. Which leaves us with one final question. Does absolute anonymity bring out the truest freedom of humanity, or its darkest instincts? I'm Sam, and this is Neokyru World. Thank you for joining me on this journey. Never stop exploring the unknown. If you want to dive deeper into the mysteries of our world, hit subscribe. Let's unfold the unknown together. See you next time.